I'm Chuck, and this is What is the Wheel? This was supposed to be part 2 of my Predator build. Unfortunately, about 70 gig of my saved video files have suddenly become inaccessible. I can see them, I can even play them, I cannot put them in an editor, and I cannot figure out why. They appear to download, but they're not accessible. So I have a short video that was my crank tool that I made in a previous video. You get to watch it fail, and then I update it. I make a version 2, and which works much better. So I didn't want to not have any content, so I put that up tonight. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Good comments, bad comments. I've had some bad comments recently. Those are fun. I like those. So not that you need to leave one, but those are interesting. Everybody have a great day. Okay, here we go. We're gonna put the flywheel on now, and I'm so dedicated to the What is the Wheel experience that I completely installed this thing and forgot to turn the camera on. So I took it all back apart so I could put it on camera. So you're going to make sure that your key is in. You're going to make sure that this is clean. Take your flywheel, line up your key, push it on there like that. Take your big nut here, put that on. This takes a 19mm socket for this thing. We're just going to screw it down like that. You're just torquing one bolt, so you don't have to worry about any kind of sequencing or anything like that. You're just going to snug it up. And I'm going to use my Jim Dandy crank holder here that I made in a previous video out of some junk I had laying around to hold the crank steel, because you got to have something to hold the crank in order to do this. This is, what is it, 54 foot-pounds. That's a pretty fair amount of effort. That's not going to just go on there easy. Like I mentioned before, like back in the day, we'd probably just hit it with an impact and be done with it. But we're going to do this right. 54 foot-pounds is what they ask for. That's what we're going to do. Put our torque wrench on here. Hold it with our crank holder. And let's see how cooperative it is. I have got this motor not bolted, but clamped to the bench, because this does take a lot of effort. And it might be more effort than I can apply. Good grief. It's going to happen any second now. And I lied. I haven't been able to get it tightened up to 54 foot-pounds yet. Holy cow. I'm going to have to double check my wrench. Alright, I had to come back with the Big Daddy. That other torque wrench, I think, was getting near the top. I don't know if I just couldn't apply enough force because it was too short or what, but I've got this one out here, and let's see if I can do it with this thing. Like I said, it takes a fair amount of force, and you see, it's actually twisting my tool that I made. It's like 54 foot-pounds is a lot. Crank holder version 2. As you can see, my handle that I made the first time, it was not up to the job. Where the holes were to bolt the handle to the tool, the combination of a light piece of metal and a pretty big hole and lots of stress right at this point, just bent the handle, which is a shame, but whatever. So we've got the tool here, and I have cut a short piece of thicker stock, thicker piece of steel, and run a bolt back down to hold it to the tool, and then we're going to slide the tool on to the crank like that. This is a 5/16 by 24 bolt, which is the size that a Predator uses for its PTO attachments, and we're just going to loop this thing around, screw it right in to the block, or the pan, which is bolted to the block, and this allows us to put this force that we're applying to this flywheel nut directly into the block instead of struggling around. Then all we need to do is take our key and line the keyways up, and we're just going to put that key right in there, and now There's a little bit of play in here, but when you go to crank it down, it's just gonna pull straight through. Instead of being a pushing force, it's just gonna be pulling between these two bolt points. And this worked great, way easier to do. And you can also get 3/4 weld-on hubs and do this exact same thing with that. If you want to make your own instead of just buying one for $10, you can get any farm supply place, sell something that looks similar to this. You drill a hole in it, tap it out, and put your little torque arm on it. So this version 2, way better than version 1.